I'm the walking cliché, the brooding off-limits uncle from a forbidden romance novel. 10 years ago, I took in my niece Chloe after her parents died. She was only 8 and I was just 22, but she was my sister's little girl. I was all she had left. Now, she's a stunning young woman, poised, beautiful, and turning 18. At her birthday party tonight, a lavish affair I threw for her at our home in Greenwich. I had a little too much celebratory champagne. As Chloe was helping me back to my room, my vision a bizarre string of text messages suddenly appeared, floating in the air like captions only I could see. Oh my God, the heroine is totally in love with her uncle. Who can resist that brooding, mature guy vibe? Screaming, I mean, look at him. Ethan is ripped, way hotter than the actual male lead. I'd fall for him, too. Chloe needs a mentor, someone to guide her. The main guy is way too immature. Her uncle is perfect. She's going to give him her first kiss while he's drunk. The taboo is everything. I live for this. The words jolted me sober. I shoved Chloe away, my heart hammering against my ribs. I was terrified she might actually be in love with me. So, I decided I had to do something drastic. I started a campaign to turn myself into the most cringeworthy, out-of-touch, middle-aged guy I could possibly be. I started clipping my keys to my belt loop, combing my hair into a severe center part, and wearing heinous open-toed leather sandals with socks. I'd ostentatiously clear my throat in public and carry my coffee in a giant, dented thermal mug from a tech conference I attended 5 years ago. The captions reappeared, this time dripping with disdain. You know what? Never mind. Let her just end up with the main hero. Damn, Uncle Ethan really let himself go. He's an actual uncle now. The moment I saw those phantom comments, the champagne buzz vanished. Ethan, are you okay? Chloe, whom I just pushed away, stood in front of me, her eyes wide with concern. She was wearing a strapless evening gown, and at just 18, her figure was already that of a woman. I quickly averted my gaze and waved a dismissive hand. I'm just tired. Chloe, you should get some sleep, too. It's late. She hesitated, a confused look on her face before finally leaving my room. Okay, good night, Ethan. I replayed the comments in my head. My niece is in love with her uncle. The thought was a punch to the gut. If that ever got out, it would ruin her. It would ruin me. No, absolutely not. I stumbled into the master bathroom and splashed cold water on my face, trying to shock myself back to reality. Bracing my hands on a marble countertop, I looked up at my reflection. Water dripped from the ends of my hair and traced the line of my jaw. I loosened my tie and, on a whim, lifted my dress shirt, revealing a tight I couldn't help but mutter to myself, damn, I still look this good. 30 years old with the body of a 20-something. Lately, with work being so crazy, I've been distracted. I guess I hadn't noticed Chloe's feelings for me had shifted into something different. When she was 8, a car crash took her parents. I brought the orphaned little girl home to live with me. All these years, I've raised her like my own daughter, shielding her from the world, giving her everything. Tonight's party was my way of showing her that even without parents, she had me. I was a rock, her biggest supporter. But how could she have fallen in love with me? It was like a trashy novel had come alive in my living room. She's still so young, just a teenager. I had to find a way to steer her away from this, to make sure she never fell for me. The next morning, after showering and getting dressed, I came downstairs. The housekeeper, Maria, froze mid-stride, her eyes wide with shock. I sat down across from Chloe at the breakfast table. The bite of scrambled eggs Chloe was about to eat paused halfway at her mouth. She stared at me, her expression a mix of confusion and disbelief. After scanning my outfit from head to toe, she finally spoke. Ethan, did you have a style crisis this morning? I looked down at my ensemble and felt a surge of misplaced pride. A slightly too tight polo shirt, the collar popped, pleated khakis, and on my feet, the piece de resistance, brown leather sandals over pristine white athletic socks. My car keys were clipped ostentatiously to my belt loop. The finishing touch was my hair parted precisely down the middle and plastered to my scalp with gel. I'm trying something new, I said breezily. Kind of retro chic vibe. What do you think? Chloe forced a smile. As long as you like it. I took a sip of orange juice, then felt a phantom tickle in my throat. I leaned back and let out a long, drawn-out throat-clearing noise. Ahem. The sound echoed through our cavernous kitchen. I wasn't actually clearing anything. I was faking it with a bit of saliva. Chloe immediately handed me a napkin. Here, Ethan. You can spit it into this. I took it, feigning embarrassment. Sorry, Chloe. Getting older. You know, the flame just builds up. I then shouted toward the kitchen. Maria, can you find one of those big insulated travel mugs for me? I want to make some of that throat-soothing herbal tea to take to the office. The one with the chamomile and goji berries. After breakfast, as I was leaving for work, I told Chloe, you should use this time to travel before college starts. Don't just hang around the house all summer. Chloe had already aced her SATs and was set to start at NYU in the fall. My original plan was to send her to study abroad, maybe Oxford or the Sorbonne, but she'd refused. She said she missed me too much and wanted to stay close. At the time, I thought it was sweet. Now, I saw it as a massive red flag. Okay, she said with a bright smile. She walked over and straightened my polo collar, which I had intentionally skewed. Normally, I would have appreciated the gesture. Not today. As soon as her hand moved away, I yanked the collar crooked again. No, I like it better this way. It has more of a disheveled charm. I was in the car, out of sight. I stripped off the ridiculous outfit and changed back into my usual Tom Ford suit. Everything all right, Mr. My driver, Frank asked, eyeing me in the rearview mirror. I sighed. Frank, I need you to keep an eye out for me. If Chloe shows up at the office, you text me immediately. Yes, sir. Mr. Hayes. Sure enough, right after my morning board meeting, a text came through. Mr. Hayes, your niece just arrived at the building. The message was sent 15 minutes ago. That meant she was on her way up. Time was of the essence. Operation Cringe was a go. By the time Chloe walked into my office, I was back in my costume, meticulously combing my center part. Chloe, what a surprise, I said, feigning ignorance. She placed an insulated tote on my desk. I brought you some soup, Ethan. It's a ginger pear broth. Good for your cough. She thoughtfully ladled a bowl for me and set it down. Drink it while it's hot. This is delicious, I said after a sip. Chloe settled onto the couch, looking perfectly at home. Ethan, I was wondering, could I intern here at the company for the summer since I have the next 2 months free? I nearly choked on the soup. An internship, I stammered. That sounds so boring. Why don't you go on a trip with your friends? Backpacking through Europe. My treat, all expenses paid. Chloe shook her head. But I want to learn about the business. That way, I can help you out one day. Her eyes grew sad. Are you saying you don't want me here? No, of course not. I backpedaled immediately. If you want to intern, you're more than welcome. God help me. Did this mean I had to dress like a walking midlife crisis every single day in front of my employees, my clients, my business partners? My reputation as a sharp, stylish CEO was about to go up in flames. The captions flickered back into view, mocking me. He looks like he's been possessed by the ghost of a suburban dad. I can't watch. You know what? Never mind. Let her just end up with the main hero. Damn, Uncle Ethan really let himself go. He's an actual uncle now. You guys are the worst. Last night, you were calling me hot, and now look at you. Chloe started her internship sitting at a desk right outside my glass-walled office. This meant my new uniform was here to stay, at least until she lost interest in me. Before leaving work, I got a message from my buddies in our group chat. They wanted to grab drinks. You guys go ahead. I'll meet you at the bar later. Ryan, frowny face. We're right near your office. We'll just come wait for you there. Me. You know, Mark, what's the deal? Hiding a woman in there? Chris, a woman. I'm on my way. 10 minutes later, the three of them barged into my office and stopped dead, staring at me. An awkward silence filled the room. Ryan was the first to speak. Ryan, I feel like I need to throw holy water on you. Mark shook his head. Mark, Ethan, what in God's name are you wearing? Chris just sighed. Chris, you know what? You're not coming out with us tonight. Me. Why not? I wailed. Ryan, you're an embarrassment, he said with a grimace. Mark, a total embarrassment, Mark agreed. Chris, the king of all embarrassments, Chris added, rubbing his temples in secondhand shame. Defeated, I slumped onto my desk and pretended to sob. I thought they might take pity on me, but when I looked up, they were gone. Me. Traitors. Doesn't anyone care about my fragile boyish heart? Just then, Chloe peeked in. Chloe, Ethan, can you help me with something? She asked tentatively. I puffed out my chest. Me. Anything for you, Chloe? It turned out her best friend had been harassed on the subway. The friend slapped the guy, and he immediately started causing a scene, claiming she'd ruptured his eardrum and demanding money. Now they were all down at the police precinct. Chloe, the guy is acting like a total jerk, saying his father is some big shot and threatening her. Her family isn't in town, and she has no one to call. They're still at the station. Ethan, I knew you could help. Her voice was thick with unshed tears. I stood up. All business. Me. Don't worry. This is nothing. Let's go. 5 minutes after we arrived at the precinct and got the rundown, I made a single phone call. Chloe, is it handled? She asked, her eyes hopeful. I nodded. Me. It's handled. Your friend can go home. The harasser was still fuming, blustering about how his dad was the deputy commissioner of something or other and that I'd regret this. So, he has connections. Big deal. I brought bigger connections. Thank you so much, Mr. Hayes, Chloe's friend said, looking immensely relieved. I gave her a reassuring smile. You did the right thing. You were brave. When you run into a creep like that, you stand up for yourself. A few days in a holding cell will straighten him out. As we left the precinct, I walked ahead, overhearing Chloe and her friend whispering behind me. That's the uncle you described as a debonair suit-wearing Adonis. Well, he's going through a phase right now. Chloe defended me, but his face is still handsome. Besides, I think my uncle looks good in anything. What? Are you kidding me? This wasn't working at all. My days of sartorial self-torture had been for nothing. Chloe and her friend decided to grab dinner, and I had no intention of being a third wheel. It was time to change clothes and meet my friends for that drink. But just as I was about to get in my car, I heard a familiar voice behind me. Ethan Hayes. I turned. Oh no, it was Olivia, my ex. It was too late to dive into the nearest manhole, so I just covered my face with my hands. Not me, not me, not me. I chanted internally. Ethan, is this some kind of performance art piece? Olivia walked right up to me and pried my hands away from my face. Time to face the music. Her eyes, full of a mixture of shock and pity, scanned my outfit. Wow, you've certainly matured. This had to be a new low. Running into my impeccably dressed, stunning ex-girlfriend while I looked like a reject from a casting call for Cringy Dads of Connecticut. I forced a laugh, my mind racing. It was a dare. Lost a bet with some friends. I have to dress like this for 24 hours. Olivia raised an eyebrow. Oh, for a second there, I thought you'd had some kind of breakdown. She started to walk away, but an idea, a terrible brilliant idea, sparked in my mind. Wait, can you do me a favor? What kind of favor? I took a deep breath. Pretend to be my girlfriend again. Olivia let out a sharp, cold laugh. Don't tell me this is some pathetic ploy to get me back. Ethan, she had dumped me because my workaholic lifestyle left no time for her. It was my first real relationship, and when it ended, I was devastated. I spent a full night crying on my friend's shoulders, and the next 6 months, recovering. No, God, no, it's my niece, I explained quickly. She gave me a look that screamed pervert. No, not like that. I frantically waved my hands and gave her the whole crazy story. When I finished, her expression softened. I see. All right, Hayes, for Chloe's sake, I'll help you out. But this is strictly pretend, she warned, pointing a finger at me. Don't you go getting any ideas. I nodded like a BOBBLEHEAD. So, are you and Olivia back together? Chloe asked over breakfast the next morning. I nodded solemnly. Yeah, we are. For the past few days, Olivia had been playing her part perfectly, stopping by the office and letting Chloe see us together. I'd stopped taking the same car home as Chloe, instead making a show of driving Olivia home myself. Does that mean you two will get married? Chloe asked. I didn't know how to answer that. If it feels right, maybe, I mumbled. You know, Chloe, I added, trying to sound casual. You're an adult now. If you meet a nice guy you like, it's okay to date. Just be smart about it and protect yourself. That was it. I needed to find Chloe a suitable boyfriend. If she fell for someone else, she'd forget all about me. With my connections, it would be easy to find a few handsome, wealthy, and respectable young men to introduce her to. Chloe's face soured. I'm not interested in any of those guys, she huffed. They're not as great as you. Normally, a comment like that would have made me proud, but right now, it just made my headache worse. Chloe took a few days off from her internship. She wasn't traveling, but she was out of the house from morning until late at night. I asked Frank if he knew where she was going, but he had no idea. Then one afternoon, it happened. A guy with bleach blonde hair pulled up to our gate on a ridiculously loud dirt bike with Chloe riding on the back. I felt like my head was going to explode. Who is this guy? I stammered as they walked up to the front door. Chloe looped her arm through the blonde guy's. Ethan, this is my new friend. My world tilted. I was officially in the twilight zone. The guy was a caricature. His hair was a brassy yellow, and he was wearing flip-flops, board shorts, and a tank top that revealed tattoo sleeves on both arms. He stuck out his hand with a goofy grin. Hey dude, the name's Jocks. Nice to meet you. Out of sheer politeness, I gave his hand a limp shake. Ethan, isn't his bike the coolest? It spits flames out the back. I've never seen anything like it. Chloe gushed, pointing at the monstrous bike. I was dumbfounded again. Are the sports cars in my garage not good enough for you? Is that it? I can buy more. A convertible only has a roof that opens, Chloe said, her eyes shining with novelty. This bike has like 360 windows. Furious, I pulled her aside. Where did you meet someone like that? I hissed. We just met by chance, Chloe said defensively. He's a really nice person. You can't judge people by how they look. Ethan, me? I just came back to grab my bag, she said, already moving past me. We're going to hang out some more. She ran inside, grabbed her purse, and hopped back on the dirt bike. Bye, Ethan. The bike roared to life and disappeared down the long driveway, leaving a cloud of dust in its wake. The first thing I did was call the security gate. From now on, the kid on the dirt bike with the yellow hair is not allowed on this property. I don't care if Miss Chloe herself asks. No entry, understood. I barked into the phone. We have standards in this community. We don't let delinquents in. I couldn't believe it. Of all the handsome, successful young men in our circle, she picked a guy who looks like he just fell out of a 2000s-era music video. Don't tell me this is the actual male lead. Over the next few days, I had someone discreetly follow Chloe and Jocks just to make sure she was safe. It turned out they weren't doing anything scandalous. Jocks was just taking her to eat at food trucks all over the city. And Chloe, who had been raised on fine dining, was eating it up like she discovered a new food group, which, to be fair, she had. I never let her eat street food because I thought it was unsanitary. Of course, I snuck some myself from time to time. Hey, my mood was foul, so I called my friends to meet me at a bar. Ryan immediately started in on me. Well, well, Mr. Hayes, what happened to your middle-aged dad cosplay? I was too preoccupied with the jock's situation to banter. Mark smirked. Leave him alone. He's probably thinking about a woman. Chris chimed in. He's back with Olivia. If he's thinking about another woman, Olivia would literally end him. I let out a heavy sigh. My niece has been hanging out with some punk with bleached hair. The three of them responded in unison. What a punk. Ryan shook his head. No way. A sweet girl like Chloe. She's a prime target for a guy like that. Mark leaned forward. As her uncle, you have to put a stop to this train wreck. Chris delivered the final blow. Next thing you know, she'll be pregnant, and then you'll really have a mess on your hands. I nearly kicked him under the table. They were all talking at once, their voices like a swarm of angry bees in my head. Finally, Ryan offered a piece of practical advice. Look, guys like that are only after one thing. They see a rich girl like Chloe and see a payday. Just throw some money at him. He'll disappear. It was a cynical plan, but it was a good plan. I decided to act on it immediately. I found Jocks when he was alone after he dropped Chloe off. Whoa, dude, your car is sick, he said as he slid into the back of my Maybach, looking around the plush interior with wide-eyed wonder. I wasn't in the mood for pleasantries. I got straight to the point and handed him a debit card. There's $50,000 on this card. Take it. There's only one condition. You leave Chloe alone and never see her again. But Jocks didn't react with the greedy excitement I'd expected. He didn't snatch the card. Instead, he pushed it back toward me, looking embarrassed. Mr. Hayes, you got it all wrong. Chloe and I are just friends. It's not a romance thing, he explained patiently. My parents also died in an accident. When Chloe and I started talking, we just connected over that. That's all it is. Look, I know I look like a punk, he said, a genuine earnestness in his eyes. But I'm not a bad guy. I dyed my hair and ride this loud bike so people won't mess with me or my family. His story tumbled out. His parents were gone, leaving him to care for a sick grandmother and a younger sister in middle school. The whole tough guy persona was an act, a shield to protect what was left of his family. And these tattoos, he pulled up his sleeve to show me the intricate design. They're fake. The stick-on kind, he grinned a little sheepishly. A wave of shame washed over me. I felt my throat tighten. Roman, don't cry, I told myself. How did you two meet? I asked, my voice softer now. Jocks hesitated, his eyes darting away. He wouldn't say. Don't hide anything from me. Tell me the truth. I pressed. After a moment, he relented. About a week ago, I was riding down by the old industrial park. I heard a girl scream from one of the alleys. Those alleys are dark and sketchy, and people get into trouble there sometimes. So I stopped to check it out. I saw these two guys trying to snatch Chloe's purse. I just ran in and helped her. The guys saw they were outnumbered and took off, but not before they kicked me a couple of times. That's how we met, he finished. Hearing his story, I felt the ground shift beneath my feet. Why hadn't Chloe told me any of this? A deep, suffocating guilt settled in my chest. What kind of guardian was I? Please, Mr. Jocks begged. Chloe made me promise not to tell anyone. Don't let her know you heard it from me. I nodded numbly. As he was leaving, I pushed the debit card back into his hand. You're still taking this, but the money isn't for you to mess around with. Use it for your grandmother's medical bills and your sister's school expenses. Jocks shook his head vehemently. I can't take this, sir. Take it, I insisted. I'll make that much in an hour. Consider it a thank you for what you did for Chloe. I stuffed the card into his hand and told Frank to drive. As I watched his shrinking figure in the rearview mirror, my heart felt heavier and more confused than ever. Home, or back to the office? Mr. Hayes. Home, I said quietly. Chloe was in her room painting. I paced back and forth outside her door, my stomach in knots, not knowing how to begin. A moment later, she noticed me. Ethan, are you just going to stand there? Is something wrong? I nodded. We need to talk. Okay, come in. She had an easel set up by her desk and was working on a watercolor. She's loved painting her whole life ever since she was a little girl. She's incredibly talented, too, with a shelf full of awards to prove it. Almost all the art hanging in our house is hers. So, she said, putting down her brush. What did you want to talk about? It was hard to get the words out, but I forced myself. Chloe, why didn't you tell me what happened last week near the industrial park? Her hand froze. She looked up at me, her eyes immediately welling with tears. I didn't want to bother you, she whispered. You're always so busy with work, so stressed. I didn't want to add to your worries. Besides, nothing really happened. My voice grew louder with anger and fear. What if it had? What if something terrible had happened? How could I ever face your parents? I was there to get inspiration for a painting, she explained, her voice choked with sobs. I saw a light at the end of an alley and thought it would lead to a place with a beautiful view, but I never thought. Her face was red, her body shaking with silent sobs. And seeing her like that broke my heart. And besides, she continued, her voice trembling with a different kind of hurt. I feel like you've been avoiding me lately. Ethan, are you going to get tired of me one day? Will you stop loving me? The words I was about to say died in my throat. Chloe, I said, my own voice thick with emotion. You are my family. We're family. I will never ever stop loving you. She froze when I said that, then slowly nodded. Right, we're family. From now on, if you go out to paint, you take someone with you. No arguments. My chest felt tight, like it was being squeezed in a vice. I left her with that final command and closed the door behind me. There are so many things about a teenage girl's heart. So many secrets and insecurities that a man like me, blunt and unobservant, could easily miss. It was my fault. All my fault. Looking back, I realized Chloe's mood had been off that day. She came home, but I was too wrapped up in myself to notice. I had to start paying closer attention. That night, I went to a bar alone to drink. I didn't call my friends. I just wanted to be by myself. But of course, I ran into Olivia. Well, if it isn't my fake boyfriend, she said, sliding onto the stool next to me, drinking alone, trolling for pretty girls, or just waiting for fate to intervene. You people really love to tease me, don't you? I sighed and threw back my whiskey in one gulp. Olivia immediately sensed my dark mood. What's wrong? She asked, her voice soft. Is it about your niece? I guess that's what 4 years together gets you. She could still read me like a book. I nodded and told her everything I'd learned that day. I failed as a guardian. I finished miserably. Chloe was almost seriously hurt, and I had no idea. Olivia put a hand on my arm. Hey, there's a difference between boys and girls, and you can be a little dense sometimes. A teenage girl's mind is a complex place. It's natural for her to worry about being a burden to you. Chloe has always been a thoughtful kid, she continued. She knows how hard you work. She didn't tell you because she was trying to protect you. She cupped my face in her hands, gently wiping a tear from the corner of my eye. It's okay, she soothed. I'm here. I'll drink with you. You're such a big baby, she teased. Still need me to comfort you? I let my head fall onto her lap. It felt so familiar, so right. My eyes started to burn again. Olivia stroked my hair like I was a lost puppy, and she said something that made me sit bolt upright. You know, if Chloe loves painting so much, why did she choose to major in finance? She was right. Olivia's words cut through my haze of self-pity like a laser. I had missed the most important clue of all. I shot to my feet. Olivia, I have to go. I'll call you. We'll get that drink another time. I wanted to ask Chloe last night, but she was already asleep when I got home. The question burned in my mind all night, and I barely slept. We were sitting at the breakfast table together. Chloe, can I ask you something? I began. Of course, she said. You love painting more than anything. So why, when you were choosing your major for college, did you pick finance? You have no interest in it. The glass of water in her hand stopped halfway to her lips. She wouldn't meet my eyes. Art is a hobby, she said flatly. Finance is a career. I almost laughed. What do you need to worry about a career for? Do you think you'll ever be unemployed? Even if you never work a day in your life, I could support you. You love painting. I pressed on. You once told me your dream was to have your own art exhibition. Chloe, tell me the truth. Do you really want to study finance? She was silent for a long moment before shaking her head. No. Then why did you choose a major you hate? I demanded. Finally, the truth came out. Because, she said, her voice barely a whisper. I thought if I studied finance, I could help you with the company when I graduate. Then you wouldn't have to work so hard. Her words felt like a stone dropping into a quiet pond, sending ripples of sorrow through my heart. Why would you give up something you love for me? I asked, my voice aching. Will that make you happy? Because if you're not happy, I won't be happy. I'll be miserable for you. I want you to do what you love. Chloe, I want you to study art. You have a gift, I told her earnestly. You have a rare talent for painting. That talent combined with your passion is an unstoppable force. You can have your exhibitions, not just here, but all over the country, all over the world. My words seemed to break through her defenses. A flicker of hope appeared in her eyes. It hurt me to see how much she'd been willing to sacrifice. This foolish, wonderful kid. Tell me the truth, Chloe, I urged. You want to be an artist? You want to pursue painting with everything you have, right? She looked at me, her gaze finally steady and clear. She nodded. Yes, it's what I really want. Then don't let me or anyone else stop you, I said gently. You don't have to compromise for my sake. Your life is your own. You have to live it for yourself. Thank you, Ethan, she whispered, her voice choked with emotion. The weight on my chest finally lifted. We're family, Chloe. You don't have to thank me. A new worry crossed her face. But it's probably too late to switch to an art program now, isn't it? Especially if I want to study abroad. The application deadlines have all passed. She was right, but that was a problem money and connections could solve. Don't worry about that, I told her with a confident smile. I will take care of everything. You just focus on putting together your portfolio. For the first time in days, she broke into a genuine, radiant smile. Okay, it was all arranged. Chloe was accepted into the Florence Academy of Art in Italy, the city of romance, the heart of the Renaissance. It was perfect for her. Her portfolio was exceptional. I just had to pull a few strings with some contacts abroad to get her application reviewed past the deadline. But her talent did all the heavy lifting. I had just finished a meeting when my assistant knocked on the door. Mr. Hayes, a young man named Jocks left this at the front desk. For you. She handed me a debit card and a folded note. It was the card I'd given him. I opened the note. It read, Mr. Hayes, thank you for the offer, but I can't take your money. I'm going to make it on my own. I sighed. The kid was stubborn. I'd give him that. That night, I went out for drinks with my friends. This time, it was a real celebration. The last few weeks had been an emotional roller coaster, and I was exhausted. After just 2 drinks, I was already dozing off on the bar's leather couch. Ryan started poking me. See, a man's prime is over at 25. Mark chimed in. You're 30, so that means you're basically 70. Chris delivered the killing blow. Face it, Ethan, you're washed. I was too tired to fight back. These vultures were ganging up on a tired old man. I was about to get up and go home when Olivia arrived. Oh, really? She said, her voice dripping with amusement. Who's washed? She glanced at me. Is it your tolerance that's gone, or something else? I immediately perked up and scrambled over to her. Honey, you're here. I'm not even drunk. Who's your honey? She said, pushing me away. But then she grabbed my tie and pulled me close, her lips near my ear. Let's just see what's not working anymore, she whispered, her warm breath sending a shiver down my spine. My friends all made exaggerated gagging noises in unison. Olivia led me out of the bar and into the warm, humid night air. The city sounds helped clear my head. Thank you for everything you've done, I told her sincerely. You really helped me out. The situation with my niece is finally sorted. Olivia looked up at me, her gaze direct. So, Ethan Hayes, how are you going to thank me? I avoided her eyes. I'll take you to dinner. Buy you a gift. Name your price. Anything you want. It's on me. Olivia pointed a finger directly at my chest. You? I was confused. What about me? I want you, she said, her voice dropping to a serious tone. Ethan, do you still love me? Whoa, oh my God, this was happening. In 2 seconds, she had me hooked, lined, and sinkered. Yes, of course, I still love you, I blurted out, so excited I felt like I could do a backflip right there on the sidewalk. Olivia, you have no idea how miserable I was after we broke up, I whimpered, pulling her into a tight hug and burying my face in her neck. She smelled so good. She smelled like home. Chloe was busy packing for her trip abroad. I'm swamped at work for the next few days, so I can't fly out with you, I told her. But as soon as this deal closes, I'll come visit you in Italy. She smiled. It's okay, Ethan. Olivia is going with me to help me get settled. I feel bad for being so much trouble. Don't be silly, I cut in. We're family. Just then, the phantom captions appeared for a 3rd time. The heroine is going abroad. She's going to meet the male lead. I can't wait for their cute romance to start. But the uncle is so great. I love him so much. I couldn't help myself. Chloe, when you're in Italy, if you meet a guy you like, be brave and go for it. And if someone asks you out, be smart. Keep your eyes open. If you're ever unsure about a guy, you call me and I'll vet him for you, or talk to Olivia. Chloe was kind and a little naive. The thought of her navigating the world alone scared me. I needed to know she would be okay. My words seemed to touch her. Thank you, Ethan. Don't be scared, I said, pulling her into a hug. You have me. I will always be your family. No matter what happens, I will always be your safety net. Sending her abroad wasn't just about her art. It was about helping her become independent, to stand on her own 2 feet. For 10 years, I had shielded her from every hardship. But what if one day I wasn't there to protect her? More than anything, I wanted her to have the strength and skills to build her own life, to have a soul that was both independent and free. Chloe's flight was this afternoon. She had a layover in Dubai. I planned to finish up at the office and then drive her to JFK. Good morning, Mr. Hayes. I stopped in my tracks. What did I tell you? In the office, you call me Mr. Hayes, right? Yes, Mr. Hayes. Thank you for this opportunity. I'll work very hard. Jock stood before me, looking sharp and professional in his new security guard uniform. He'd graduated high school but had no other qualifications, though he was honest, kind, and strong. I'd offered him a job on my company's security team. He was young and capable. With time, he could easily become head of security. If he showed aptitude elsewhere, I'd promote him. And of course, the yellow hair was gone, replaced by a neat black haircut. By the way, I said, Chloe leaves this afternoon. Do you want to come to the airport to see her off? A hopeful light sparked in Jock's eyes, followed by a flicker of hesitation. I knew what he was thinking. Don't worry, I'll give you the time off. Jock snapped to attention, standing perfectly straight. Thank you, Mr. Hayes. Thank you, Sir. At the airport, Chloe and Olivia were about to head through security. We were saying our final goodbyes. Ethan, take care of yourself. Okay, don't work too hard, but I know Olivia will look after you, so I'm not too worried, and you have to be good to her. Don't you dare make her angry. Chloe stood before me, chattering away, giving me a long list of instructions. I nodded. I know, Chloe, I will. A lump formed in my throat. I remember the day I brought her home a tiny, scared little girl. In a blink of an eye, she was a grown woman. I opened my arms and gave her a huge hug. Had an amazing time at school, Chloe. Study hard and take care of yourself. And if you get homesick, just fly home. The tickets are on me. After hugging Chloe, I turned to Olivia and gave her a hug, too. I'm going to miss you, I whispered. Olivia just rolled her eyes playfully. Oh, please don't be so dramatic. You're probably thrilled to get a few days of peace and quiet. I watched their figures disappear through the security gate. Olivia and I are engaged. This second chance has made me realize how much I value our relationship. The first time around, I was so consumed by work that I neglected her feelings. She was right to feel tired and frustrated with me. I understand that now. I've reflected on my mistakes and I've changed. I won't let that happen again. Chloe is thriving in Italy. Every time we video chat, she's bubbling with excitement, sharing stories about her adventures and the interesting people she's met. She's more confident, more outgoing, more alive. Seeing her so happy puts my heart at ease. I know her parents, wherever they are, would be so incredibly proud of the amazing woman she's become. I've been in Italy for a month now, and I'm finally getting used to the rhythm of life here. When I'm out in class, I love taking my sketchbook and exploring the city, finding new corners to draw. I've made so many new friends from all over the world. They're all so fascinating. I still miss home. I miss my mom and dad, and I miss Ethan and Olivia. They're getting married in 6 months. I'm working on a special painting for them as a wedding gift. There's something about this city, this cradle of romance, that truly inspires an artist. I'm going to work hard for the next few years. My dream is to have my own gallery show one day. Ethan was right. Being true to yourself is the most important thing in the world. You should never, for anyone, give up on the things you love. End of story.